Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on voting. The November election is just around the corner on Tuesday, November 3rd. But even before then, there are some pretty important dates and details that voters will want to make note of. There are few cities in the U.S. more important to the 2020 presidential election than Milwaukee, which could play a critical role in deciding who wins Wisconsin, which of course is a battleground state. My first guest is Claire Woodall-Vogt. She's the executive director of the Milwaukee Election Commission. How are you, Claire?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I know you're extremely busy as we are quickly making our way to Election Day. Time is flying by. So, like I said, there's quite a bit of information when it comes to deadlines and procedures to follow. So, wanted to first and foremost talk about getting registered to vote.
Absolutely. So the deadline to register to vote by mail or online is October 14th. Voters can go online to myvote.wi.gov and complete the process entirely online if they have a Wisconsin driver's license or state ID. Normally takes less than 10 minutes. But it's really important if you have moved since the last time you voted that you check your registration and make sure you're registered at your current address. After October 14th, in order to update your registration or register for the first time, you would have to either come to our office, come to early voting, or register on Election Day.
Okay, so important things to point out. In order to vote, your name and address must be current, and you can vote at the polling location on Election Day if need be. So you did talk about the fact that someone would need their Wisconsin driver's license or a state issued ID. But what if, in fact, someone's still needing to get an ID that is up to date?
Yeah, so if you still need to get an ID that is up to date, you can do so at the DMV. One important thing to note, and a lot of voters don't realize this, the address on your ID does not have to be current in order to use it for voting. In fact, you can update your address online for free with the DMV. You never have to leave your house. And then you can update your voter registration. The physical ID doesn't have to have the updated address unless you're using it in person as your proof of address for registering.
All right. And the Milwaukee Election Commission, you've already started mailing out absentee ballots. So, with that said, what's the procedure for requesting an absentee ballot?
So in order to request an absentee ballot, it is important that you have acceptable photo ID. You will need to complete an application, which you can do online or by mail, or I should add at any of our voting assistance centers. We have voter assistants available across the city at every Milwaukee Public Library, Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they're there to help you register, but also request an absentee ballot. And unless you are indefinitely confined due to age, illness, or disability, or in the military, you will need to provide a copy of your photo ID when you apply. It could be as simple as using a cell phone to snap a photo of your ID. It's a very simple process, but you will need a Wisconsin driver's license, a Wisconsin state ID card, a passport, military ID, and there are a few other acceptable IDs for voting in Wisconsin. The most important thing is you cannot use an out-of-state ID. So whether you're voting by mail or in person, you need to make sure that you have the proper photo identification.
All right. And a good word of advice is do not wait to request those absentee ballots, right?
Absolutely. I think in this election more than ever, it's important for voters to go ahead and be making their plan for voting and providing plenty of time, even if you plan to vote in person, to make sure you have the documents that you need in order to cast a ballot on Election Day, at early voting, or if you want to request a ballot by mail. It's not too early to start requesting ballots by mail. We have about 100,000 out there already. And then you can return them using a Dropbox or using the mail system as well.
All right. And there is a deadline to request an absentee ballot, correct?
There is a deadline, and it's a deadline that voters should ignore, quite frankly. The deadline to request an absentee ballot is the Thursday before the election. And that's not a realistic deadline for us to process the request and mail it to the voter and time for them to receive it and return it to us. So we have been in really close communication with the Postal Service. We recommend, if you want to complete the entire voting process by mail, that you apply at least 2 weeks before the election. If you want to receive your ballot by mail but return it to an early voting location or a drop box, at least 1 week before the election.
Okay, very important information. For those people who may be a little older or not really technically up to date, so to speak, what would you suggest they do when it comes to requesting an absentee ballot and not really maybe having access to Wi-Fi or a computer for that matter to do all the things that's necessary?
So any voter who's needing assistance, whether they are elderly, disabled, or just not comfortable completing the process online, we always encourage them to come and get help at any Milwaukee Public Library. Again, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4, or they can always call us. There are certain processes we can walk them through. We can mail applications to voters, and if they fall into the elderly, indefinitely confined category, that doesn't mean you can't leave your house ever. It just means it would be difficult for you to get to the polls or to stand in long lines on election day. Those voters are exempt from photo ID. So they can actually complete the process without having to upload a photo ID, and we are here to help them. So they can always call us at 286-VOTE.
286-VOTE, that's 286-8683. And when filling out the absentee ballot, one will need a witness, a signature, and an address. And this is so extremely important because if that simple step is missed or skipped over, then that ballot gets thrown out, right?
So yes, it's very important if a voter is voting by mail that they take the time to read the directions. The city of Milwaukee has improved our directions. We even have photos with in color to show you where you will need to sign your envelope. But the voter has to sign the envelope. They have to have a witness sign, and the witness also has to provide their address, even if they live in the same household. So if a husband and wife are witnessing one another's ballots, they still need to rewrite their address as the witness address. That's another reason voters can always drop their ballots off at a voting assistance center or at early voting if they just want us to verify that they completed the ballot correctly, the envelope that the ballot goes in. And in the city of Milwaukee, if we receive ballots that cannot be counted, we are very proactive in contacting voters. So we will actually mail the ballot back to them, and it will say open immediately, signatures needed on the envelope in red. And then they also can expect to receive a phone call from a volunteer letting them know what's happening in case they are under tight deadlines and choose to go to early voting or make another election day plan as we get closer to the election if time runs out for them to return their ballot. But we are trying to help every voter to make sure that their ballot is counted. So if they get a phone call from a volunteer, it is a very legitimate phone call if it is about their ballot.
Okay. The other thing, sometimes people get confused. They think if they requested an absentee ballot, then they won't be able to vote early if in fact they change their mind. So if you could clarify that so that people kind of have a better idea of what's okay to do on election day.
Yes, and a lot of voters are confused, especially because of the recent tweets from the President of the United States. It was directed to voters in North Carolina, but we should really emphasize to our voters here in Wisconsin what the proper procedures are. So if you request an absentee ballot and you do not return it, you do not put it back in the mail, you don't take it to a drop box or an early voting location, you can still vote on election day at your polling place. Your poll workers will ask if you returned your ballot. You state that you didn't return it, and they will let you vote. If you return your ballot, either put it back in the mail or you've taken it to a Dropbox location, you are not allowed to vote on election day. It is actually illegal. So we included that into our directions as well on what to do on election day. If for some reason you make a mistake on your ballot, you lose it, you spill coffee all over it, you can always call us. We are able to cancel the first ballot and reissue you a second ballot. It's all carefully tracked in our database. So anytime a voter has a question or a concern, if they will always contact their local election official, we can give them the correct information to ensure that they are following the law.
Yes, thank you for that. And there are quite a few new options that are available to voters this time around. There are the steel drop off boxes. And if I'm correct, those are at the local libraries in the Milwaukee area and also at City Hall. And I've heard people say, what if those are under 24-hour surveillance and it is illegal for anyone to tamper with those boxes. I think it's important to note that, but they have that option of dropping off their absentee ballots there. And then also new this year is the drive-through voting at Miller Park and Fiserv Forum, and that's an early voting option that starts on October 20th. So the convenience is no one has to really get out of their car, right?
Right, so it's important to note Fiserv Forum will be an in-person, indoor voting location, but very large space where we can socially distance. Miller Park will be exclusively drive-through. So voters who are hesitant, but they want to complete the process in person, Miller Park is really designed for you. It is set up to be fast and efficient, and we are really excited to have that partnership. And both partnerships allow us to create extremely safe voting experiences in person. And then it's also important to note that on election day, we'll have 173 polling places. So I say if a voter is comfortable going to their grocery store, they should be comfortable voting in person as well, if that's their preference. We have all of the same safety measures in place: plexiglass, disinfectant, social distancing at early voting and on election day.
Yes, and everyone should also have their mask on when they go into those polling places. So for those who are looking to actually uh, get out and vote, at the same time help other people better understand what they need to do, if you would give them the website address where they can go for more information on everything they need to know when it comes to voting.
Sure. So statewide, any voter can go to myvote.wi.gov and find the updated voting information for your municipality. Starting on October 1st, that website will have drop box locations for every municipality, early voting hours, as well as locating your polling place for election day. So it is your one-stop shop. City of Milwaukee voters can also go to milwaukee.gov/election, and you can find more localized resources, such as our early voting and drop boxes, but also a sample ballot of the PDF of what your actual ballot will look like on election day.
Yes, and there's been so much going on in the news dealing with the pandemic, of course, playing a role in the elections this year. But there's also concerns about some of the changes that were taking place within the U.S. Postal Service. You said that you've had a chance to meet with postal officials and make sure you guys are all on the same page to ensure that individuals' absentee ballots are getting to the location on time so that their votes can be counted.
Yes, so our partnership with the local USPS branches has been very strong. The communication channels are open, and voters should really, they are very much prioritizing election mail right now. So we've seen very fast delivery times of absentee ballots over the past week, and we're confident that the Postal Service is prepared to make sure that every ballot gets to us that's in their possession on election day. So from what I've seen as an election official, I wouldn't have been as confident 6 months ago when the pandemic began, but we have really seen a turnaround, just like we have in election administration. The more time that the Postal Service and the Election Commission has had time to prepare, the better we are at administering the election and the election needs that have now resulted in the Postal Service.
All very important information. And just to reiterate, Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. To find your polling place or get registered to vote, visit myvote.wi.gov. All the information's there for you. You can also go to milwaukee.gov or call 414-286-VOTE. Claire, anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Nope. Thank you so much for having me. And again, if voters have any questions, look to your local election officials. Ideally not Facebook and Twitter for your election information.
Thank you again for being here with us. Claire Woodall-Vogue is the Executive Director of the Milwaukee Election Commission. You can call 286-VOTE, that's 8683, or again, visit milwaukee.gov to get details on anything that we have discussed today. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll check in with the nonprofit organization Souls to the Polls and find out about a special voter registration event planned by Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated. It's all about having your voice be heard on Tuesday, November 3rd. We'll be right back.